better. You can have money and power, but the respect is the best. Oh. Hi, hello, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Shout out to the All Access Patreon members who are seeing this first. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. And if you haven't connected with me over on Patreon, it's completely free to join. You'll still get some perks. Occasionally I'll post a part of an album before YouTube gets it, or I'll make it previously only accessible for All Access members. I'll make that one available for everyone. If YouTube ever blocks a video, it'll be available for free on Patreon, plus it's ad free. However, if you are interested, there is an All Access membership tier that you can purchase that gets you early access to all my content, extended versions, non-blurred visuals, music videos, requested live performances, interviews, things like that. I've done them for every album I've done thus far. All of the information will be in the description below. I'm working my way through Kendrick Lamar's discography. I started at section 80 and I've been going in chronological order, and we are entering into the battle era, but we're not quite there yet. This video is going to be a little different than what I thought it was going to be when I decided to film this. My day started a little differently than I expected. I had other things planned, so I knew I was going to film this afternoon. I had a little bit of a window of time, and then I ended up finding out that this is not the first time this has happened, not the second time this has happened. This is like the 5th time that I have been involved in saving baby raccoons. I don't know like why I am apparently the raccoon saver, but here we are. Me and the trash pandas apparently vibe. I guess there was a litter of them, and unfortunately only one had survived, by the point that it had pulled itself from behind horse stalls in the barn that we don't really use anymore. It was stuck. There were sledgehammers involved. There was tearing out the back of a horse stall of wood. It was an ordeal. I am not made for the heat, and I was so hot, honestly shocked that my makeup is still even somewhat on my face. That said, that took a few hours. Once I did get it out, it was on its last leg, so I was gonna say breaking. I should probably not admit that on camera. I was as safely within the bounds of the law driving to get this dying baby raccoon to a wildlife center to try to save it. It went well, thankfully. But that said, by the time I got home, sat down here, normally I'm a planner, all right? This, I just kind of sat down and was like, you know what? I'm changing things. Which is not a norm for me. So I already feel a little discombobulated, if I'm being honest, but you know, we're here. I don't know if this is the right call to make, but this is where I'm at. Some people were like, go ahead and jump into the, battle. For me to go through what I had planned as the battle, I would have needed a lot more time to film, and I just quite frankly do not have that time to film it and get it ready for posting on Thursday. So my plan was to watch, like I said, one of these other videos. Since I had posted that, there was multiple other suggestions posted, and like right before I started to sit down and film, I decided that I think I should maybe kind of adjust it. So I started watching a video that was the last culture war. I'm not quite done with it. When I'm done filming, I'm gonna go back and watch I'm trying to pull it up, Kendrick Lamar and Drake tense relationship, all shots and interviews. And then there was one more that had a part 1 and a part 2 to be done afterwards. I'm gonna watch it just because I feel like the more information, I'm all about context, but I'm not gonna film a reaction. One person posted a good point. I'm trying to pull up, I should have had this up before I started recording, but like I said, I think this video might be a little bit of a train wreck because I'm kind of going unplanned, and let me tell you, no one needs that. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know if there was a reason why. Maybe it was just because the timing was so close to the battle that I included, like, that 7-minute drill, J. Cole's apology plus Love Yourz, the song that he played following up the apology that he did. I believe this is on stage. Those 3 things happened right before, like, the month leading up to and then the month of the battle starting. I don't really know why that ended up in the battle section. Those probably could have been in the pre-battle roundup. I guess it was just because I saw the dates and was like, yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes I think about everything, and then sometimes I think about pretty much nothing. And this was one of those times where I was just like, oh, those dates. But the context, I don't know. I'm just here, okay? I'm just here. All of that to be said, I thought about it. Let's just move past all the context videos. I've watched a lot of them. I'm gonna finish up watching them on my own after this, before the actual battle video. But let's just go ahead and do These other ones, I feel like that makes sense, especially because the other ones are actually the battle. Again, I don't know why I didn't think of that from the get-go. That's what we're gonna do today. Literally hit record and I didn't have anything up, so I am now doing that. And final reminder, I am kind of tackling this battle saga a little bit different than I have approached Kendrick's music thus far. I don't typically keep up Genius because I really like to take the first listen as what did I get and what did I not get? And then I like to hear everyone in the comments because it just gives me additional perspectives and context that I really enjoy. Then I can go and look at something like Genius. However, I have to be very careful with Genius at this point because a lot of time Genius annotations will reference future works, and for me, I am always trying to avoid spoilers. I have to be very, very cautious when it comes to Genius. However, given that this is its own separate thing, and because so many of these diss tracks have so much context about things that maybe I wouldn't have known. Now, of course, these deep dives that I've been doing have given me a lot more context that I feel pretty prepared as I feel I can be, but my plan is to tackle these videos as I did in the pre-battle roundup. I'll listen to it, do my own little lyrical analysis, and then hop into Genius while on camera, kind of look through it a little bit more before moving on to the next song. I will then, after this video is over, I will go back and like deeply read annotations. That is my plan. I'm sorry this is a super long intro. We're gonna start with Like That, which dropped March 22nd, 2024. This is on Future Metro Booming's We Don't Trust You album, and this is a follow-up to First Person Shooter that we've already covered. It's a statement in of itself that Kendrick decided to be on this collaboration We Don't Trust You album after declining, supposedly, to being on First Person Shooter.
Gotta find my joint up on this bitch. I miss you. 3 times. Yeah. Sticking to the code, all these hoes for the street. I put it in her nose, it's gonna make her pussy leak. Pussy niggas told ain't gonna wake up at they sleep. You can't hear that switch, but you can hear them niggas scream. All my hoes.
Since I have obviously like my sensory issues, I'm surprised I like that whistle, but I do.
Niggas told ain't gonna wake up at they sleep. You can't hear that switch, but you can hear them niggas scream. All my hoes do shrooms, nigga, all my hoes do coke. 20 carat ring, I put my fingers down her throat. If I lose a carat, she might choke. I know she gon' swallow, she'll go. Free band, nigga, bring the rats in. Got the shooters in the corner, like the pack in. She think cause she was out it, bitch, she attractive. That's that shit that get you put up at the section. And the model still the same. Ball like I won a championship game. You know these hoes hungry, they gon' fuck for a name. I put her on the game, she get fucked for a chain. Got your girl in this bitch, she twirling on the dick. I got syrup in this bitch, turn up in this bitch. And we bout the irks in this bitch, get murked in this bitch. All these pointers on me, baby, you know it's game time. Bring a friend, bitch, we fuck them at the same time. I'm a different nigga, no, we not the same kind. You can have that look, bitch, you ain't mine. Young dope dealer selling dope, is you like that? Kicking doors, kicking in doors, is you like that? Young throw nigga selling lows, is you like that? All 24, you won't.
Does that, again, y'all know I don't know the correct terminology, that may just be like a Future typical way that he likes to rap. But the way the cadence was, I don't know why, but it reminded me of Zanny Family. I don't think I know a ton of Future songs, but I've had Zanny Family on a playlist for years and years. And the way he said that, like, maybe that's just one of his like flows he likes, kind of sounded like it. It's been a little bit since I've heard it, so maybe this is one of those me comparing something that actually doesn't sound anything alike, but in the moment it sounded alike. Which could be very valid, or it could be like sampled from that. I don't know. Or maybe that's just one of his kind of signature cadence structures, flows. I don't even, just ignore me.
Throw niggas selling lows, is you like that? All 24, you won't go, is you like that? Niggas from the bottom really like that. Step in ambulances if you like that. Pop another bottle if you like that.
These niggas talking out of their neck. Don't put no coffin out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. Hey, let's get it, bro. DOT, the money, power, respect. The last one is better. Say yes, a lot of goofies with a check. I mean, I hold them sentiments symbolic. My temperament bipolar, I choose violence. Okay, let's get it up. It's time for him to prove that he's a problem. Niggas clicking up, but cannot be legit. No 40 water, tell him. Aww. Yeah, get up with me. Fuck sneak this and first person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. I crash out like fuck rap. This Melly Mel if I had to. Got 2 T's with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. It's up. Lost too many soldiers, not the.
I'm so sorry. I'm still so hung up on the. Don't pull no coffin out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. That. Oh God, I can't remember the line that's reminding me. I think that's a connection to, in First Person Shooter, there was a line about the purse. I'm sure Genius will tell me if it's connected. We'll get there, but I'm pretty sure that that's connected, like a response to that particular line or another line. There's something in there that makes me think of that. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. DOT, the money, power, respect. I know he says that line. He's put those in his music all throughout his discography, but there's one that's reminding me of hold on, yesterday I was literally listening to Good Kid, Mad City. Maybe that's what it's making me think of. Art of Peer Pressure? No. Backseat Freestyle? Either way, that next, the last one is better. You can have, like, you can have money and power, but the respect is the best. Oh, just saying it out loud even makes it hit more. The last one is better. Oh, that is like literally hitting a mortal wound. Say it's a lot of goofies with a check. I mean, I hope them sentiments symbolic. I hope what you're saying in the song is symbolic because you don't want to mess with me. Because my temperament bipolar, I choose violence. Also just the bipolar, the duality, the Gemini, the Mr. Morale, big steppers, wickedness, weakness. That duality has been present across his entire discography. You know, my temperament bipolar, I choose violence. It's time for him to prove that he's a problem. I love that for so many reasons because immediately can think of it in multiple ways. Let's get it up. It's time for him to prove that he's a problem. First person shooter and thinking about them saying like the things that they were saying. Is he saying like, oh, so you can do these things, like let's hear it, let's actually do this. The other layer I can think of it as is like, let me set the stage to prove that he is problematic. Like there's just different ways of looking at that. And I feel like there's more. I feel like there's a couple of lines that's making me think it might be a response to. I just don't know first person shooter well enough. Something's making me think, but I don't know it well enough to actually tell you exactly what it is. But cannot be legit, no 40 water. That's gonna be a reference that I don't understand, that I will have to look up, I'm sure. But I do think the clicking up, I do think that sounds like something in first person shooter. So it's making me think like all of these are lines that are kind of direct responses. I'd be interested to see them lyrics side by side because I feel like it's basically a call and response is what it makes me feel like. I could be wrong, but that's what's making me think of. Like sneak diss in first person shooter. I love that he's just like, names. Let me not be subliminal. Let me just state this for the record. I hope they came with 3 switches. Again, 3, that makes me think of something with first person shooter. I should have listened to that again right before I started this, but I didn't. Got 2 T's with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. I feel like there's significance there. Did they say that? I really should have looked at that song before I started. Okay.
Tease with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. It's up. Lost too many soldiers not to play it safe. If he walk around with that stick, it ain't Andre 3K. Think I won't drop the location. I still got PTSD. Motherfuck the big 3. Nigga, it's just big me. Nigga, boom. What? I'm really like that. And your best work is a light pack. Nigga, Prince outlived Mike Jack. Nigga, boom. For all your dogs getting buried. That's a K with all these 9s. He gon' see Pet Cemetery, nigga.
Down dope, dealer selling dope. Is you like that? Kicking dogs, kicking.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Think I won't drop the location? I still got PTSD. Motherfuck the big 3. It just big me. I'm really like that. Also, in your best work is a light pack? I can't. The Prince outlived Mike Jack. That line just hits so much harder. I would have understood the significance of that line prior to watching the video that I started before I started filming. Like while I was setting up my equipment, I was listening to it. Oh God, which one was it? The Last Culture War, which is literally talking about Prince and Michael. But then, for all your dogs getting buried because of the album being For All the Dogs or whatever it is, that's okay with all these nines. He gonna see Pet Cemetery. The fact this isn't even the battle, like this is a warning shot. He was still like, yeah, let's do this. Okay.
Those is you like that. Young throw niggas selling lows is you like that. All 24 you won't go is you like that. Niggas from the bottom really like that. Stepping in balances if you like that. Pop another bottle if you like that.
Oh. Oh. I like that. Alright, I look like so shocked. This is what's so, on one side, this is what's so infuriating about my sensory issues is that they're not always consistent. It has to do with all of the factors. Today I listened to this song and it's not a sensory issue. Tomorrow I could listen to it and it could be. Like it's not always the same formula that it follows. And that's what's complicated because it's not like I can just avoid certain things. But that's not to say that there's not elements that I know if I am already kind of dealing with overstimulation that they won't trigger it. And today is a day that I could see me getting a little too, like I'm not there yet, but like I could be. So in theory, this song's production should push me further. And yet it doesn't. And I'm loving it. So I'm like extra shocked because I'm like, I'm surprised that background that kind of sounds like a child or like a nursery rhyme play on that. I don't know if that's what it's meant to be, but it's kind of like that. Sometimes layers like that can, I don't even know how to verbalize it, but I'm extra shocked because it's not doing that and I am loving it because a lot of times I'll be listening to something and be like, oh crap, like I can't listen to this right now, but it's not because I don't like it. And so I'm just extra excited right now because I really like this and it's not bothering me. Anytime I say stuff like this, that has no reflection upon the artists involved, the producers, the engineers. It has nothing to do with them. It's not that they did something that's like, ugh. Why did that kind of sound like you out of pocket? Okay. I've been listening to a lot of Kendrick, if you can't tell. Ugh. Why did it sound like that? Anyways. Oh, I love that though.
Young dope dealer selling dope, is you like that? Kicking doors, kicking in doors, is you like that? Young throw niggas selling lows, is you like that? All 24 you won't go, is you like that? Niggas from the bottom really like that. Stepping in balances if you like that. Pop another bottle if you like that. Came banging dope, niggas was John slanging powder. Walking a strip club, make it rain for 3 hours. Locked in and now I got my phantom in my driver. Perked out, took chances in my hood like Nevada. Surfed out outside, white interior lasagna. 100,000, I just cashed out on designer. Got the barrel, nigga, I learned that in the jungle. Once I said it's low, that's a
I love how it faded out. Not just the instrumentation, his vocal. I really liked that. Also, Gotta Devour, I learned that in the jungle. Damn. Well, I loved that. Also just really interesting to think about how this is You Like That. And then later on in the battle, we're gonna get Not Like Us. I just like that parallel a lot. This set the stage. I mean, granted, I've only heard a part of that song from the Super Bowl. And like that clip from the Super Bowl is played so much on TikTok. So I obviously know that part, but I haven't heard the song all the way through. And I haven't looked at the lyrics ever. And as you guys know, if I'm not reading the lyrics, my comprehension decreases rapidly. Salem wants inside, of course he does, because Of course he does. I'm coming, travel. Breathe out, problem. So they were certified. Welcome to the Zany family. Oh, okay. Hello. You just come straight over here. Just no questions. Do not lay on my laptop. We've talked about this. Good job. No, leave him alone. Dobby is right over here, and now Salem has decided to grace us with his presence and his fur. I just brushed him, and yet I could build a whole nother cat. What was I saying? Now all that's playing in my head is Zany family, so there's that. I guess let's just go to Genius, because I can't remember what thought I was having. Like That sees Future and Metro Boomin enlist rap legend Kendrick Lamar for a hard-hitting track where the two get a few things off their chest. Lamar takes it a step further, pronouncing himself alone as the best in the rap game, samples Eazy-E's 1988 single hit Easy Does It, and 1986 track Everlasting Bass by Rodney O and Joe Cooley. Also takes inspiration from E40's 1999 Look at Me, which also sampled Everlasting Bass. Salem. Buddy, I love you. What are you doing? I know you really love being on camera. Trust me, I am aware. But I'm gonna need you to not sit right there. Or at least if you're gonna... Well, that cleared out both cats quickly. It's okay. What is that? Oh, wait. You almost squished Dobby. It's okay, I stopped recording. Oh, no I didn't. You're hitting me in the face with your tail, can you not? Had to take a brief pause because there was a post office delivery. Salem, yes, I see you. The whole world sees you. Go lay down. You can stay there. That's fine. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, which also sampled Everlasting Bass. Can you please stop staring at me? It's a little creepy. Future and Metro Boomin's first performed Like That at... I've seen dogs do that, but never a cat. Then again, you have dog energy anyways. Future and Metro Boomin first performed Like That at Rolling Loud, California during the duo set with Travis Scott on March 17th, 2024, just days before the song's release with We Don't Trust You on March 22nd. The live rendition featured a different cut of Future's verse not present on the album version. I'm gonna focus on Kendrick's verse while I'm filming. I will go back and read the annotations. Talking out their necks. Okay, some would say that this piece is a response to first-person shooters. Quote, first-person shooter mode, we turn in your song into a funeral. That is exactly what I was thinking of, but I was also thinking about the Hearst line. That was that song, right? Maybe that was a different song. Hold on, now I need to look. That must have been a different song, because I am not seeing it. Okay, DOT, my enemy. That's bad blood, I'm pretty sure. My brain today. DOT, the money, power, respect. The last one is better. Still a bar. Kendrick makes a callback to his 2012 song Backseat Freestyle. I was right. Okay, all my life I want money and power, respect my mind, or die from lead shower. Bold assertion where Kendrick claims superiority over Drake and Cole, the other rappers that formed the so-called, quote, Big Three from the song First Person Shooter. He uses the old rap name K-Dot to emphasize that he has the three most important things within the rap game: money, power, and respect. Special attention is drawn to respect being, in Kendrick's opinion, the best thing to have as a rapper. Kendrick has made history working on more conscious, less mainstream albums like To Pimp a Butterfly, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers, with a 5-year wait for the latter album, proving that he values quality and reputation over money. The last one is better may also be a jab at Drake, specifically with him having large amount of power and the most money out of the, quote, Big Three, but also lacking the respect given to Cole and Kendrick by many in the rap game. Oh, rap scheme. So someone else had mentioned Cole made you feel empowered, but he is not your savior. Drake is the money, Cole is the power, and Kendrick is the respect. That's why he said the last one is better. Oh, yeah, I could definitely see that. Interesting. Someone else said this is a reference to the game in Drake's song 100, where Drake says, if I didn't have money, respect, and accomplishments, I would have so many friends if I held back the truth and I just gave out compliments. Drake also dissed Kendrick in this very same song in the next line, I would have all of your fans if I didn't go pop and I stayed on some conscious shit, which I remember that line from, maybe that was FT Signifier's video. I hope them sentiments symbolic, my temperament bipolar. As for Drake claiming he's the modern era Michael Jackson, the best of our time, alluding to trying his records for the most #1 hits for a male solo artist. Kendrick also often acknowledges his duality, Gemini, and in Family Ties where he said old school Gemini, yep, wicked or weakness got brought up, same thing I brought up earlier. It's time for him to prove that he's a problem. This is a shot at J. Cole on Middle Child. Cole raps, if I smoke a rapper, it's gonna be legit. Kendrick tests Cole and wants him to prove that he is as untouchable as he thinks he is. It is a double entendre. He could be Kendrick, who is proving that he is a problem, a rapper that other rappers should fear, which he has to prove because he has never had a huge beef. On the other hand, he could also mean Drake, who Kendrick will prove is a problem for hip-hop and society. There's clearly multiple ways to interpret that, because obviously I didn't think of those two. Well, I thought of the second one, but not necessarily the first one because I didn't hear Middle Child, but that's cool. Okay, this one I didn't really understand that much about the 40 water deal. He suggests rappers such as J. Cole and Drake are forming a clique / clicking up to go against him. They say they're in his class, but they can't be for real, be legit either. They're thinking that they truly are on the same level. Or he could also be saying that they can't be their authentic selves on the mic, like Kendrick, Be Legit, and 40 Water. Tying into that, Kendrick could also be responding to those first-person shooters in saying they're clicking together, as in firing empty guns in his direction while making inauthentic claims, such as, I'm down to click out on you hoes and make a crime scene. J. Cole used the term be legit when talking about not having beef with Drake in his 2019 Middle Child, back when the rap game was praying I diss. They act like two legends cannot coexist, but I'd never beef with for nothing. If I smoke a rapper, it's gonna be legit. Another lay of this line could be that No 40 Water is a shot at Drake's producer Noah 40, who is known for using an underwater effect in a number of his productions. On that next section, Kendrick lets both rappers know that their legacies will not outlive his, comparing his body of work to that of Prince, who outlived Michael Jackson by just under 7 years. This is also a direct response to Drake's boast in First Person Shooter, where he compares his commercials to success to Michael Jackson. I'm one away from Michael, beat it, what? There are notable parallels between the two beefs, which Kendrick may very well be invoking. Kendrick and Prince have been generally acknowledged as having deeper artistic value in what they produce, albeit a step below their contemporaries in popularity, while Drake and Michael Jackson have been two of the biggest pop stars in each of their respective eras. On top of nearly collaborating with the late artist, Kendrick explicitly likens himself to Prince on Mask Off remix with Future, coincidentally where Lamar says, she said she broke down when Prince died, it's alright, bitch my hair down, Prince lived through me, I am Prince. Finally, Kendrick makes one last call out to the duo, calling them dogs, being buried in the pet cemetery, which I already called out. Making further wordplay, compares K to an AK-47 and a much more higher powered weapon than the 9 Drake and Cole have, which is most likely the 9mm pistol, while also stringing the two guns together in a line to form K9. There's a lot more of this, I hope I'm saying this, is it Grandmaster Melly Mel? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Was the lead rapper Grandmaster Flash in the Furious 5, 1970s New York hip-hop collective. It's talking about the parallels between them. I will, like I said, I'll go back and really read this, but just for the sake of filming time, skimming a bit here. Okay, so 2T's is the director of security at Kendrick Lamar's former label Top Dog Entertainment and a close friend of Lamar in general. He insists on having a bodyguard when making threats, as he's seen many of his more reckless peers die without one. Valid. Scratching chains and burning tattoos are violent acts meant to strip someone of their respect, which Kendrick, whether figuratively or literally, insists on doing, meant to strip people from their affiliations. In this context, it might be a jab at Jake's OVO label, wherein chains and tattoos are often used. Okay, I think that's where it was sticking out. It was Mother I Sober, because it said, I know the secrets, every rapper sexually abused. I see them daily bearing their pain and chains and tattoos. I think that's where I was thinking I had heard something similar. Okay, and then the stick, PTSD, parallels there with Andre 3000, could be a firearm from J. Cole's Dreamville projects. Okay. Oh, 40 Water. Here, Kendrick is actually saying 40 Water, further paying homage to one of the Bay Area legends, E40's many nicknames. E40 has an entire song dedicated to his moniker, aptly titled 40 Water. In his own words, tell the people that 40 Water is back. In summary, I really liked that, like a lot. Next up, we have J. Cole's 7-minute drill. This is not on Spotify, so I am gonna have, I don't know if this has lyrics on screen. Okay, I have it up and lyrics. 7-minute drill.
Yeah. Turn it up. Yeah, turn the vocal up. Light work, like it's PWC. It's a cold world. Keep the heat under your seat. I got a phone call. They say that somebody dissing. You want some attention? It come with extensions. My dog like say the word. He on bullshit. He itching. I'm putting so much work in these streets. He got pension. I told him chill out. How I look having henchmen. If shots get to popping, I'm the one doing the clinching. I came up in the Ville, so I'm good when it's tension. He still doing shows, but fell off like the Simpsons.
How I look having henchmen. If shots get to popping, I'm the one doing the clinching. I'm assuming that's because the security Kendrick brought up in like that. But like, that's just smart to me. I think that's what it's calling out. If shots get to pop, I'm the one doing it. So like, I don't hide behind that. But I mean, I guess, yeah, you could take that approach. To me, Kendrick employing security is just smart. But who am I to say? That's just me. Also, light work like it's PWC. Is that like, I have like rural water? So is that like power? Maybe, hold on. Public Works Commission. I was not wrong. It's only because I just paid a bill and that's what it made me think of. It's a cold one, keep that heat under your seat. I got a phone call, they say somebody dissing. I love how it's like, as if someone's dissing. That makes it sound like, this is so unexpected. What do you mean? Why do you act like that's unexpected? First person shooter. What do you mean? Sorry, I'm confused by that, but okay. Moving on.
So I'm good when it's tension. He still doing shows, but fell off like the Simpsons. Your first shit was classic. Your last shit was tragic. Your second shit put niggas to sleep, but they gassed it. Your third shit was massive, and that was your prime. I was trailing right behind, and I just now hit mine.
I'm so sorry. What? Okay, I'm assuming that he's gonna say Good Kid, Mad City is the first, because that was like the first like major label album. So your first shit was classic, your last shit was tragic. Again, this can be Kendrick biasy, I understand that. It is baffling to me. Mr. Morale and Big Steppers is an album that's like, every time I have heard any jabs about that album, like everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I get that. But anything I've heard that's been like negative about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers thus far, to me it all just looks bad on the person who's saying it. Because it's either like you inherently didn't understand it because like what you're saying doesn't fit with what the actual album is, or like it wasn't. To me, that album is just like a line that I as a person can never imagine doing disses at, because it is so deeply personal. Like, unless you have been in therapy and have worked on yourself, I just don't feel like you can really say much about that album. Because it's like, have you taken time to reflect? Because this man just put his literal therapy journey and his trauma out for the world to display. And if you can't put respect on that, I'm sorry, but like that to me just is like a red flag. You're allowed to be like, that's just not my type of album. But any like actual like disses at that, to me that's like when people talk about, you know, bringing in the fiance thing, like with the whole Pusha T thing. That's what really, like, that's where it crossed the line. That's how I personally feel about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I'm just like, how could someone go after that? It was tragic. Yeah, it is tragic. And that is incredibly brave to put something like that out. Again, sorry. Seeing that, I was like, your second shit put people... Again, I know I have a bias and like it's hard for me to say these things because I haven't heard a ton of J. Cole, but like these disses just seem like more of a reflection on the person, because I'm like, how could that put someone to Pimp a Butterfly? I'm sorry, but all of these disses just, to me, ricochet back. That's the one you're gonna go with? That it was boring. It talked about systemic racism, exploitation of the Black culture, Black talent, not just in the US, about just like the Black experience. You have this interwoven poetry that goes into this like homage to Tupac, who's one of the greats. I don't know how, I don't really know. It has such interesting elements with like the funk elements, and I'm just not really sure how could that put someone to sleep. But they gassed it because it deserved it, because it was an incredible album. That's why it deserved it. Okay, I'm sorry. Your third shit was massive, and that was your prime. I can't even compare those albums. Granted, I'm not good at comparing things anyways. I can't pick favorites of things. It's not just him. It's with everything in my life. It's very hard for me to like pick favorites. Just looking at them as bodies of work, I don't even know how you could decide which one is prime. Because it depends on what you're looking at. Are we talking about cultural impact? Are we talking about awards? Are we talking about the commercial viability? It depends on which way you're looking at it. But they are all, like, there has not been an album that I have been like, no, it's fine. Okay. I was trailing right behind and just now hit mine. Okay, keep going.
Front up the line with a comfortable lead. How ironic, soon as I got it, now he wants something with me. Well, he caught me at the perfect time. Jump up and see why I got here off of bars, not no controversy. Funny thing about it, bitch, I don't even want the prestige. Fuck the Grammys, cause them crackers ain't never done nothing for me. Ho, slugs took my nigga soul.
I'm really trying, guys. I'm really trying not to just totally, because my initial thoughts, I don't know enough about him. I feel like if I say these things, I would be making a stance that I have not put a lot of perspective into the other side of this argument. So it makes me feel like I shouldn't say this. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Have you seen, like, how if you want to talk about ironic, you've put yourself over here with Drake at this point. Like, how ironic, as soon as I got it, now he wants something with me. I just think it's interesting. I guess to me, again, you know, I don't know all sides of this, so this may be an ignorant statement, and I acknowledge that. You kind of staked your claim over here, and then you want to say some of this stuff about Kendrick. Like, I don't even want the prestige. Fuck the Grammys. After first person shooter where Drake literally unveiled a statue with all the Michael Jackson I'm sorry, I'm just so perplexed by this. I understand that this is about him and Kendrick is a response to first person shooter. You can't not keep first person shooter in mind for this, in my opinion. Okay. Maybe I'm just missing something.
Cause them crackers ain't never done nothing for me. Ho, slugs took my nigga soul. Drugs took another one. A rap beef ain't realer than the shit I seen in Cumberland. He averaging one hard verse like every 30 months or something. If he wasn't dissing, then we wouldn't be discussing him. Lord, don't make me have to smoke this nigga cause I fuck with him. But push come to shove on this mic, I will humble him. I'm Nino with this thing, this that New Jack City meme. Yeah, I'm aiming at G-Money, crying tears before I busted him. Light work, like it's PWC. It's
I'm sorry, I just can't stop thinking about the irony of this. Slugs took out, drugs took out, this rap beef ain't realer than the shit I've seen in Cumberland. You're talking to Kendrick Lamar. Like, if this was... I'm not even gonna say that. This rap beef, you're talking about the man who literally said in one of his earliest work, people are dying, so what's the point in a rap beef? But it was a response to what you got. I'm so confused. Does anybody else see the irony here? I'm just like, this is to Kendrick Lamar? If anybody else understands the violence in this little trio we're talking about here, that's not to diminish the things that I'm sure Drake has seen, but like, Okay, just keep going. Also, a hard verse every 30 months. Okay, again, here's the thing. This to me doesn't even seem like a good diss. And I acknowledge that I have some bias here, but it's like, if you listen to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and you understand why he was gone for 5 years, which first of all, he wasn't even actually gone for 5 years. Black Panther, the album, does exist. I understand that it wasn't just solely his, but like, it does exist. Family Ties. He was on other features. Like, it wasn't just totally gone for years, right? But quality, like, you can, just because you can drop a bunch of stuff doesn't always mean that it's the same thing as far as quality. But even ignoring that side of the argument, he spent those years reflecting, doing better. Like, to me, those just don't, they just don't seem like disses to me. In the moment, they sound like a diss. When you really think about it, and you think about the body of work that you got with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and the things that he identified about himself, and just all of these layers, I'm like, it just doesn't, I guess my thing is, it doesn't, for me personally, it just doesn't like hit as hard knowing Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. But that's just me.
Cold world, keep the heat under your seat. I got a phone call, they say that somebody dissing. You want some attention, it come with extensions. My dog like say the word, he on bullshit, he itching. I'm putting so much work in these streets, he got pension. I told him chill out, how I look having henchmen. If shots get to popping, I'm the one doing the conductor.
Is this meant to sound like one of Kendrick's songs with like the change ups, or is that something that Cole does a lot too? Oh, no, I know the answer to that question. He does do that a lot. Tell Two Cities. Okay, just ignore me. But I still can see the conductor thing if we look at Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, is because so many people liken it to like a play. There may be a different reason, but that was the first thing that I thought of. I don't even think I commented about this in the beginning, but you want some attention. Like, that was a response. What did you expect? Did you expect him to say nothing just because you can heal and still... You didn't just totally kill that side of yourself. I look at Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers as him acknowledging trauma and feeling more whole and accepting parts of himself and healing and growing. That doesn't mean that that side doesn't exist. Just because you heal doesn't mean that you're not going to defend yourself. It means you're going to be selective about it, and you're going to make sure that before you say stuff, you've looked in the mirror and made sure that, you know, you're acknowledging your own hypocrisy. At least to me. Interesting. Okay.
I got mixed feelings about these fucking rap niggas. It's over for that cap, the official cap. Pillars 2-6, we don't act niggas. We get at niggas, shoot a nigga lights out. Yeah, my dog, stat fillers, stat stuffers, triple double, get your ass black duffel. Body bag, body bag, body bag.
That's a cool production.
Cold world, your instructor for Pilates class. Get a nigga stretched if I feel a disrespect. Your arms might be too short to box with the God who live his life without the pressures of a constant facade. I pray for peace, but if a nigga sees these positive vibes, a Falcon 9 inside my pocket, bitch, this rocket gon' fly. Now it's popping outside like the top of July. My text flooded with the hunger for a toxic reply. I'm hesitant, I love my brother, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm powered up for real, that shit would feel like swatting a fly. 4 albums in 12 years, nigga, I can divide. Shit, if this is what you want, I'm indulging in violence. Put pictures in my home, aim the chrome at your eyelids. Fly pebbles at your dome, we the Stone Temple pilots. This is merely a warning shot, the back niggas down. Back in the town where they whipping, working, traffic in pounds. My jack jumping bout a rapper making blasphemous sounds. Switching sides like the tassel on a cap and a gown. I'm fully loaded, nigga, I can drop 2 classics right now.
You know, I will say, like, do I agree with some of these? Do I stand by everything I've said thus far? Yes. However, at least this is like... I shouldn't say that. I was gonna. I just feel like Cole, there's bars in here. Feels more, like listening to this does feel more in line with what I'm not comparing the two, but I mean, I guess I am, but I guess I'm saying that this feels more, like there's more to like dig into and lyrically, I can understand why he is looked at as one of the big 3. Like, shows it for me is, not that Tale of Two Cities didn't already, but like, I may not agree with some of it, but at least it, like, it does hit. I see his talent is, I guess, the best way to say it. I also do appreciate that throughout this, he has said, like, he's kind of like reluctant. I told him to chill out. Like, I don't really want to be on this. I got mixed feelings about this. I pray for peace. I'm hesitant. I love my brother, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm powered up. It would feel like swatting a fly. Would it? Would it though? 4 albums in 12 years. I mean, like, I guess if you're gonna hit anywhere, that's like probably like one of the easiest ones to go for, because maybe that isn't as, typical, the breaks that he's taken. It's like the easiest to me to go after. I guess for me personally, I just look at it so much as because he has put so much of his struggles with mental health and like why he has to take steps back like all throughout his discography. It's not just because Kendrick was like, oh, I can't come up with stuff. It's like he's struggling so much with like his mental health and survivor's guilt and all of that, and like, so to me it just doesn't hit quite the same. But like that to me does seem like the easiest one to kind of pull from without going too below the belt. But just because I have been on this Kendrick journey, it still feels a little below the belt, because knowing like the actual reasons why was like, trauma, survivor's guilt, literally suicidal. That just feels like lines for me. But at the same time, like from like a commercial standpoint, the industry standpoint, I can understand why that's like an easy one to go for. Like, I get it. Okay, let's finish this out.
Let me chill out, man.
Conductor.
Fall off on the way, nigga.
I did like the production of that though, especially like that body bag zip thing. That was really cool. Okay, let's look at Genius. Especially compared to first person shooter, to see him on his own and how he handles versus that, I am much more impressed by 7-Minute Drill personally than I was first person shooter. Granted, I understand these are escalations, so technically comparing them isn't exactly the same playing field, but at the same time, it just feels more in line with what I would expect than me being confused with like how subliminal some of the shots were in first person shooter. Let's go through these. So he's basically saying like dissing him is a publicity stunt for attention. I just don't understand that. Literally, what did you expect? When I listened to First Person Shooter the first time, before I like really dug into the annotations and read the comments and everything, a lot of it was so subliminal for me personally that I just wasn't really understanding. Some of it just sounded like a compliment, honestly. But then understanding the context of like, they're saying the big three, but all the things they're displaying are 2-person games, like excluding him and all that. And one could say that came because Kendrick said no. I acknowledge that, right? But it's just interesting to me because some of this sounds like so taken off guard. And like I said, before I really dug into the annotations and before reading the comments, I might have agreed to a certain extent, but then really understanding why jam-packed full of subliminals, that you're kind of like, why are you so surprised? It's a publicity stunt that you kind of started. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I know he didn't like necessarily start it. It's complicated. I get that. But I guess I'm just a little like, huh? At like being so shocked. That feels a little off to me, I guess. I don't know. Cole threatens that the attention comes with gunfire as extensions. Shorthand for magazine extensions. That's why he kept suggesting the heat. Okay. They might be an interpolation of Nostalgia by Pusha T. 9 times out of 10, they don't pay attention. And when it's tension air, 9s come out with the extensions. Okay, Cold World. Play off of Cold World and the juxtaposition between cold and heat. The henchman thing was that he too has people who will kill for him, but finds it lame to put other bodies in line of a conflict centering him. I came up in the Ville, so I'm good when it's tension. It's consistently ranked as one of the most violent cities. Okay, see, but to me, that's like such a... I mean, like, I get it. Like, I understand why it's there. It's just interesting to see that because from what I'm understanding, like, you both came from rough upbringings. And I just think it's a little ironic. Okay, whatever. It's fine. Moving on. Simpsons' longest running sitcom ever. The show continues to attracting a large viewership, but its quality declined from season 9 onwards. For context, the show was midway through 35th season when it dropped. I don't understand how you could like I don't know, it just feels like you're aiming that at the wrong person. I'm gonna get myself into trouble, I'm sorry. It just doesn't feel like that's the person that should be directed to. Okay, that's fine. Keep going on. I'm still baffled by those next 3 lines, but okay. I'm trailing right behind. Believes that Kendrick Lamar's Damn is his best albums. So in his perspective, he's slightly trailing behind in 2017, but since then he's overtaken the rankings in the modern era, that he's more relevant. Okay. This could also be referencing how Kendrick won several Grammys over Cole year after year. Now I'm in line with a comfortable lead. Because he got to where he is now, as well as being a respected rapper by not indulging in the controversies and beefs like others in the industry, but instead by focusing on making good music and lyrics. Again, I'm just really perplexed by that being directed at Kendrick. Boy, I got here off bars, not controversy, control-verse-y. I still don't see the control verse like that. Okay. You're entitled to your own opinion. I don't get that, but okay. I'm just like, I just keep going back to the irony of this is what you're directing it. I don't even want the prestige. Again, I feel like you're saying that to the wrong person. I'm just being honest. Okay, I'm so sorry. I just still think it's so weird to be like, that rap beef ain't realer than the stuff I've seen in Cumberland. You're talking to Kendrick Lamar. I feel like y'all have similar upbringings from the outside perspective. This song, I think this is where I'm at with this song. This song is perplexing to me because I'm like, of the 3 people who are involved in this at this point, okay. If he wasn't dissing, then we wouldn't be discussing him. What do you mean? What do you mean? Claiming that Kendrick needs to diss him and Drake in order to gain significance and attention in the industry? What? I'm so confused. This has to be my bias coming out. And I'm trying to think of that while I'm looking at these, but I'm just so perplexed. Even prior to this journey, okay, before I had really heard a lot of his stuff, I knew Kendrick's name. Put it in perspective, when I went on this journey, the reason I did my first video over the Super Bowl was because I wanted to see what he would do, because from the little I knew about him, I had heard some of his songs. The things that I knew about him was that even me, as like not a big rap hip hop listener, knew that he had a tendency to speak out about like really important topics. Wasn't shying away from like the hard topics. Those were things that I knew just from like hearing from people around me, what you hear through the grapevine and friends of mine who really love rap. I always heard that about him. Maybe I'm just thinking about my own personal understanding, like what I was exposed to prior to this journey. I'd heard some J. Cole stuff, but like, I just kind of think it's wild to think that like he would need to do this to garner significant attention in the industry, because even me as like someone who was so removed have always known about him, like since Good Kid, Mad City. So that's just weird to me to be like, that's like, you think that he is needing to do this to garner okay. I think I got a lot of this. Obviously, I need to look at, because of all the, like entendres and all of that, especially in that second verse with the cap and the lights out bag, the instructor Pilates class, like, oh, baby, no. I'm sure there is like a lot of scheme-based things that you guys know I don't pick up on a lot. The last line I'll say before he kind of switches: switching sides like the tassel on the cap and gown. Who's switching sides? We cap peelers. Oh, I see where it connects. Okay. Suggesting that Kendrick Lamar has switched sides. Cole revealed that he was one of the first people to tell Dr. Dre to sign Kendrick Lamar, continue to support Kendrick through his rap career, and even announced a collab album together, which will probably never drop. I don't understand how you think he's the one who switched sides. What? That's wild. Okay. It was good though. I really enjoyed that. I'm just perplexed by a lot of it. But okay, so now we have the apology at Dreamville Festival 2024, and then we're gonna listen to the song that he played directly after this.
Nah, I gotta get these off. So look, I wanna do this song right now for y'all. I wanna do this song, let me grab this motherfucker. I wanna do this song for y'all right now, but before I do it, I just wanna talk to y'all for a second. This song right here, it's probably my favorite shit I ever did. But I want to tell y'all a story behind this song that I just have not told before. And I want to tell y'all this right now. When I made this song right here, prior to this song and the making of this album right here, I was in a cloudy, like dark place, right? Meaning like I was doing shit, I had talent, I had belief in myself, I had motion, but at the same time I also had fear. I had fear that maybe I wouldn't get to where I wanted to go. And so that fear had me moving in an unusual way, right? It had me moving in a way that I damn near was thinking about and listening to people's expectations of me and then responding off of that, right? Yeah. And around the time I made this song, I had just more of a spiritual alignment. I got more in tune with God, like for the first time in my life and the most clearest time in my life. I got in tune, and it was not a switch. It's not just a switch that I clicked, but it did take work. And a song like this is the result of that work. Only because I was so clear when I was making this song and making this album was I able to do this. Now, why am I saying all of that? Because all of the goofy type shit that I look back on that I was doing before that, luckily, I look at the last 10 years of my life and I go, damn, like, my life been peaceful, my life been blessed, I've been happy, I've been moving on my own accord, off my own desires, my own wants. Now, why am I saying all of that? All of that shit led me up into this point, 10 years later after this song. I'm here I am. I've been just chasing my shit, you know what I mean? Like following my dream and just trying to like head to the fall off in the way that I wanted to do it. And so I put out this project on Friday called Might Delete Later. I don't know how many people done checked it out or whatever, but I put this project out. And I swear to God, I'm so proud of that project because I know one, it's just a lead up. It's just an EP that leads me up to this thing that I've been working on for a long time. And I know the work it took to get to a certain type of skill level. And I love this shit. So that shit mean a lot to me, right? So I'm so proud of that project, except for one part. It's one part of that shit that make me feel like, man, that's the lamest shit I ever did in my fucking life, right? And I know this is not what a lot of people want to hear. I know I can hear my niggas up there right now like, nah, don't do that. But I got to keep it 100 with y'all, right? I damn near had a relapse, right? Because y'all heard some shit that happened 3 weeks ago, however long it was. Y'all heard that bazooka that was dropped on the motherfucking game, right? So all of this time of me moving on my own accord, for the first time I was tested. Why am I tested?
I was literally just about to be like, because when you are getting into alignment, you will be tested. It is just, ooh, I got chills. I know exactly what he's talking about because that's what happens. I will give him credit for too, is like, I've never heard like controversial things about him. I haven't heard as much about him, but again, that also, again, to acknowledge the biasy, that also maybe just the people I was around, right? Like maybe they just happened to vibe more with, you know, I had people who talked more about like Drake and Kendrick than I did about J. Cole, but that also might just be the people I was around. That's my reality. That's a distorted view. So I acknowledge that, but that being tested, being pulled into things, it's like, are you really in alignment? Let's test it. And sometimes you'll get your hardest tests after you've done some healing and you're like, huh? Shouldn't I be past this? Wasn't the getting to more alignment the test? And it's like, no, not always.
Cause I got the world and I got my niggas like, what you gonna do, Cole? My niggas like, boy, I must have had 1,000 missed calls. Oh my fucking God. text flooded. I couldn't even answer my shit. Nigga, it's wartime. Boom, 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 right? Niggas want to see blood. And I was conflicted because, one, I know my heart, you know what I mean? And like,
it's also interesting too, because I'm like, you gotta be reflecting back and thinking about, like, look at Kendrick's bodies of work. And if you are someone who's healing and peaceful and trying to be in alignment, you would think that you would have to reflect back and be like, wait, if I'm on this and he's on this and we both don't want these things, why are we doing this? Are we getting caught up on the hype? Is this actually in alignment, or is this the external world putting pressures and testing?
I know how I feel about my peers, these two niggas that I just been blessed to even stand beside in this game, let alone chase their greatness, right? So I felt conflicted because I'm like, bro, I know I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world...
I think that's fair. Again, I'm a visitor in this space. I will never be able to fully understand, and I have to acknowledge the history and everything that I've learned so far. I'm not trying to judge anything, the history. I understand the competitive nature of hip-hop and what I've learned so far, and even before this journey, I knew that competitive nature. You know, like FT Signifier brought up in his video, the competitive versus the beef, and the lines in that. And I know sometimes it doesn't make it easy to choose peace, right? And this isn't like a judgment to those who participate or end up in beefs, right? But I just mean there is a level of respect that you have to give for someone acknowledging that they want peace. It sounds like he's like, you know, I'm cool with competition, but once I took that step over into that territory, that just didn't necessarily align with me. And I have a lot of respect for that, especially doing it in this public way. I mean this about everything. I'm not just talking about like hip hop. I mean in general, in life, right? Like everyone wants the tea, the drama, the violence. The people are chomping at the bit, whether it be, my gosh, even in something like Taylor Swift's discography. The amount of people who are vying for the information, and she has a song that's called like How Did It End? And it's like empathetic hunger descends. Oh, I'm so sorry that, you know, this didn't work out, this 6-year relationship of yours, but like, how did it end? Because at the end of the day, you don't actually care about that person. You just want to know the information. You just want the tea, the drama, up into the violence, however it is on the spectrum. When you've got everyone on the sidelines being like, yeah, like, are you gonna let people get away with it? Because they want that. And it's like, but you're an outside viewer. You're not the one who has to live with it and who has to, you know, try to go to sleep at night. It's different for the people who are actually in it versus the people who are viewers. Like, even if you're actually best friends with him behind closed doors, you still don't have to live it in the same way. So you gotta look at yourself and what feels right to you, because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with that.
Blood. I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world want to see blood. So I say all of that to say, in my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my nigga back and I try to keep it friendly. But at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my fucking peace. Yeah. So what I want to say right here tonight is, in the midst of me doing that and in that shit, trying to find a little angle and downplay this nigga's fucking catalog and his greatness, I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest motherfuckers to ever touch a fucking microphone?
Damn.
Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct?
Ooh, chills.
As do I. So I just want to come up here and be like, publicly be like, bruh, that was the lamest, like, goofiest shit. And I say all that to say, it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God align me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my nigga really didn't feel no way. And if he did, my nigga, I got my chin out. Take your best shot, I'm gonna take that shit on the chin, boy. Do what you do.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like, all good. Like, it's love. And I pray that, you know, y'all are like, forgive a nigga for like the misstep, and then I can get back to my true path. Cause I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Wow.
Past 2 days felt terrible. Like, it let me know how good I've been sleeping for the past 10 years. So all of that to say, man, I wanna now perform.
When those things happen in my videos, where it's like I'll say something and then something like, those things, those little coincidences kind of freak me out sometimes. I'm like, I mean, I know it's not that far of a stretch to like be like, you have to sleep at night. Like, that's not like uncommon statement, but still, just like when it actually happens like on camera, I'm like, weird.
Form the song that's a reminder to me of getting back on the right path and getting in tune with God. And the name of the song is called Love Yours. I want to do that for y'all right now.
Honestly, so much respect. He just won me over, like a lot. Not just because he acknowledged like this isn't even about Kendrick. He could have said that about someone who I dislike, and I still would have a lot of respect for that. As he stated, it takes a lot to be, one, a public figure, to be in the top 3, and then to know that people are out there like, oh yes, let's go. And like he said, he goes, I know there's gonna be these people who are like, what are you doing? Standing in the face of saying like, yeah, I could lean into the hype, to the things, but that doesn't align with me. That's so much respect. To go up on stage and to do it, we're not just talking about like a tweet. We're not just talking about like dropping that in an interview. That is taking time out of your stage time to address for 6 minutes something that felt out of alignment, and to apologize not only to the person and all of that, but to yourself. Apologizing to the work and the progress that you've done. To acknowledge that in a public way in of itself is a huge, huge deal, because I know I can only imagine the amount of people that was like, oh, that's so lame, you know, but no, that's respect for not letting the world or peer pressure or whatever it is get in the way of what you feel is right for you, even if other people don't understand it. That's incredible. I really love him for that. Wow. Love yours. Random, but I love his use of Z's, because I remember No Role Models has a Z at the end. Tale of Two Cities had the Z thing, and then Love Yours has the Z thing. Is that a thing of his? Oh, it looks like it might be on the same album, so maybe that's a thing on that particular album. Either way, I like Z's a lot. I don't know why. I have a weird thing about numbers. Oh, I feel like people are gonna... This may be the most controversial statement I will ever say. I hate even numbers. I say hate, that's a strong word, but I mean it. I have like a weird thing with numbers, and I can only do odd numbers. I'll be honest here, like it's a little compulsory for me, just like a little bit. Like I don't have to do it, but if I can do it, I will. Like, okay, my alarm waking up in the morning are not at even number, they're at odd numbers. One would think, I mean like 35, that's kind of like the middle ground for people who are even number people. 0s and 5s seems to be somewhere that we're like reluctantly be like, okay. But I'll set it at like 5:31. It drives people around me nuts. The reason I brought up the odd number thing is because that's kind of how I feel about certain letters. I don't know. I know that's weird. Trust me, my personal life has been very vocal about how weird this is. I know. But I really like Z's. There's just something about Z's that feel odd to me. That is not the point of this video. I'm going on a rant. Okay. I wasn't ready. Okay.
Love yours. Love yours. No such thing. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing, no such thing. Heart beating fast, let a nigga know that he alive. Fake niggas mad, snakes in the grass, let a nigga know that he arrived. Don't be sleeping on your level, cause it's beauty in the struggle, nigga. Beauty. Goes for all y'all. It's beauty in the struggle, nigga. Let me explain. Yeah. It's beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success. Hear my words and listen to my signal of distress. I grew up in the city and know sometimes we had less. Compared to some of my niggas down the block, man, we were blessed. And life can't be no fairy tale, no once upon a time. But I be goddamn if a nigga don't be trying. So tell me, mama, please, why you be drinking all the time? Does all the pain he brought you still linger in your mind? Cause pain still lingers on mine. On the road to riches, listen, this is what you find. The good news is, nigga, you came a long way. The bad news is, nigga, you went the wrong way. Think being broke was better. Life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Think being broke was better. Life that's better than yours. No such thing, no such thing. For what's money without happiness? Or hard times without the people you love?
This is beautiful. And knowing this was played right after that apology, yeah. All right, you won me over.
Though I'm not sure what's about to happen next, I ask for strength from the Lord up above, cause I've been strong so far, but I can feel my grip loosening. Quick, do something before you lose it for good. Get it back and use it for good, and touch the people how you did like before. I'm tired of living with demons cause they always inviting more. Think being broke was better. Now I don't mean that phrase with no disrespect to all my niggas out there living in debt. Cashing minimal checks, turn on the TV, see a nigga Rolex, and fantasize about a life with no stress.
That's exactly what I've talked about so much on this channel throughout Kendrick's discography. There's that fine line. Money can't buy you happiness. It doesn't exclude you from mental health issues, you know, all these things. But you also have to acknowledge there's a difference between like getting out of survival mode. It's easy to say these things about money. You have to acknowledge both sides, right? And this song is beautiful at explaining both sides. You have to have empathy, even though it sounds like I'm complaining and I have this fame and this success and these resources. But it's not all sunshines and rainbows. But also, don't think that I'm saying this and downplaying what it feels like to not be able to you know, feed your family. It just beautifully does it in a way that holds both things. Perfect example of multiple things can be true. I love it.
Shit sincerely, and as a nigga who was once in your shoes, living with nothing to lose, I hope one day you hear me. Always gonna be a bigger house somewhere, but nigga feel me. Long as the people in that motherfucker love you dearly. Always gonna be a whip that's better than the one you got. Always gonna be some clothes that's fresher than the ones you rock. Always gonna be a bitch that's better out there on the tours, but you ain't never gonna be happy till you love yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours. No such thing, no such thing. Heart beating fast, let a nigga know that he alive. Fake niggas mad, snakes in the grass, let a nigga know that he arrived.
I do want to say a big thank you. Off the top of my head, cannot remember which Patreon member recommended I did this, but this was kind of a last minute addition. J. Cole Apology was added quite a while back on my journey breakdown that I made before I even made that public. Like, that's been on there. But doing this song afterwards, because that's what he did on stage, was only added, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Thank you so much for recommending that, because I was already so impressed with the apology, but this just really went full circle, and I appreciate that. And the comment that you gave when you told me this was that you felt like it provides context to who he is as a person and an artist, and you thought that that was important, and I 100% agree, and I really appreciate you recommending that, because it hits even harder with that. I went from being like, ugh, to being like, oh, okay, I'm sorry also for judging you by that one song. That wasn't fair of me either, and I do love you now. So whenever we get to your discography, I will remember this. It takes a lot to publicly, like, I don't just mean as a public figure. I mean, even if you weren't someone, like, just in your personal day-to-day life, it takes a lot to be like publicly, like, you know what? I was wrong. This just didn't sit right. Accountability is not an easy thing, and could have gone behind closed doors, or he could have sent out a tweet. This is a big level accountability. It just speaks so much to his character, and I really appreciate that. That's all we were doing today, right? Yeah, because the next one is when the battle actually starts. Okay, I'm really glad we did that. And you know what? Now that I've gone through this, I am really happy that this is gonna end up being a video separate from the battle. One, this just makes so much more sense, but also I want to sit with this feeling a little bit anyways. It would have felt weird to go in from this, for me personally. I feel like it would have been too much change to go straight into the battle. This feels like this is the way this was supposed to happen. This is the way I was supposed to go through this journey, not to make something as, you know, like these are reaction videos. Like I'm not trying to place some like crazy level of importance, but Kendrick's discography and this whole journey has been so impactful for me. I've learned so much. This community has been just like insane, the way it's grown, the support and love and everything that you guys have provided for me and the safe space that we're creating. I just really appreciate it. Like, you know, not to make my reaction videos something bigger than they are, but you know, I've been trying to handle this journey with a lot of like care and respect. I would do that for any artist, but especially when I'm entering a space that, you know, like I said earlier, I'm a visitor in and have to acknowledge my own privilege and just being able to experience this art and learn more about an experience that I'll never fully understand is really important and impactful for me as a person. When things line up the way that they feel like they're supposed to, that just feels right. And this is what this has felt like. Deciding to do this video this way kind of came from a place that there was some tension and conversations and difference of opinions within the community that we've been building on Patreon, and those things are going to happen, but it's never a fun thing to kind of be in that position for any of us, you know. And this video has come from maybe not the most ideal place, but I think it has worked out for the best and it feels right. I enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoy this video as well. I feel like I've explained this a lot, but you know, for me it's really important to make sure that especially you All Access Patreon members feel like I understand that you're putting your hard-earned money towards supporting this channel. Regardless of who I'm disappointing, I hate disappointing people. It is one of those things for me that like I try to do all that I can, and I know I can never make everyone happy. That's why you have to, in decisions like this, you have to listen, but ultimately at the end of the day you have to choose what's best and right for you. And so I just appreciate you guys, no matter where you fall on content, or if you didn't even know that this stuff was kind of going on behind the scenes. Regardless, I just appreciate you guys. I always try to listen to you guys' feedback and I want your input, especially those of you. I am going into a space and a culture that's not my own, and so I really value hearing the feedback, and that's why I try to always be really transparent. I try to make sure that you guys feel like you're getting the things that you're putting your money towards, and it's a good experience for you guys, but also, you know, this is deeper to a certain level because I am, again, a visitor in the space. So I just appreciate you guys being open and flexible and being cool with, you know, switching things up a little bit. And you just have to sometimes make decisions, and when you're placing boundaries and things like that, it's what's best for you. As long as you're not doing it with any ill intent or malicious, you have to say like, okay, I know I'm not going to please everyone, but what makes the most sense for me and what feels right to me. I appreciate you guys kind of pivoting with me and going along with what felt right to me. All of that to be said, the next video will be the actual battle. I'm really looking forward to it. I feel like it's been a long time coming, but I'm also nervous, like I've been saying in my videos. In the meantime, let me know, what did I get right, what did I get wrong, what did I miss, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.